Nick Jr.
Let's get dangerous.
G.I. Joe headquarters, so massive it holds over 50 Joe.
What was that?
I don't need a Vegemite.
Let's start this right now, shall we? This month I'm going to be reviewing TV programs that were around when I was little. Most of which you may not have even heard of, and some you might have just completely forgotten about. Like the Spice Girls. Yeah, I bet a lot of you had an oh yeah moment just now. So to start off this TV month, we have a show from the 90s that aired on Nickelodeon and involved a guy who hung around a bunch of puppets. Have you ever heard of Weinerville? Making its first appearance in 1993 and hosted by its creator, Mark Weiner, Weinerville was one of those shows that was so 90s it would make your head spin. Don't believe me? Well, let's just take a look at the premise. The host is a guy who wanders around a miniature city, hanging out with a bunch of puppets, and sometimes has games the live studio audience participates in that always ends in them getting slimed. Yeah, no one would air that shit nowadays. Okay, so this is how the show would work. I have a bunch of these puppets, and it's just them, and me, and a bunch of these little kids. And sometimes I'm dressed in drag. The show is essentially Pee-wee's Playhouse, with a lot less talking furniture and a disappointing lack of Morpheus. Just believe me when I say that this show is pretty weird. For instance, you have Boney, a dinosaur puppet thingy who's a complete dick to kids.
I told you I couldn't! Now get out of here!
But I guess you can't really blame him when this is what he has to work with.
How many pterodactyls does it take to screw on a light bulb?
Come on, Boney. Everybody knows there's no electricity in the Pleistocene era.
These kids are no Dakota Fanning, let me tell you.
Hey, kids, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be president.
Oh, a woman running for president? Oh, how absurd. It's always fun to watch the kids in these shows. It's like they were dragged from their parents off the streets and forced to participate.
This is how we take pictures. 1, 2, 3, smile!
Look, the whole joke is that it makes the family laugh, but look at this kid. He is not amused at all by this preposterous satire.
Guaranteed to make the people smile.
There's also sometimes a general store bit where Mark shows off the products.
The perfect product for you. It's called the Boogie Bucket. Just put it right on there and your problems are solved.
Oh, god damn it, Mark.
And can save you big bucks. I'm talking mucho dinero. Not to be confused with Robert De Niro.
No. Bad Mark. Bad Mark.
And you would sit in the toilet. Ah! Well, that's not a problem anymore now with the new Tushy enhancer.
What the hell is that? I'm curious as to why someone would buy a novelty thing like that, but I kinda don't wanna know. Oh, and remember when I said that this show is like Pee-wee's Playhouse? Well, it even has its own red-headed stepchild puppet.
Here, a quick impression of someone surfing in New Jersey. Surfing in New York City. Hey, give me that board.
Alright, that's pretty funny. This kid sure seemed to enjoy it. Apart from the little skits like Boney, the show usually revolves around a kinda sorta theme, the duration of which is like maybe a minute tops. Like this episode, for instance, where the plot is that Mark's mother is visiting, and so of course all the puppet characters run like hell, or explode apparently. Then there's a bunch of skits, a few cartoon shorts, and then his mom shows up at the last few seconds of the show and then end credits. Or how about the eco-crazy episode where there's a villain named
First and Second Industries. I should have known.
First and Second? Anyway, they try to pollute Weinerville by dumping a bunch of garbage in it.
What about the old phone books that I dumped?
Recycle!
killed!
What about the Billy Ray Cyrus achy breaky CDs?
I kept those.
He kept all the achy breaky heart CDs? Oh, these guys truly are the epitome of evil.
Tear down those forests, pave them. I want parking lots!
Oh man, and I haven't even touched the cartoon shorts yet. The bulk of Weinerville is basically these old school cartoons they would show in between the bony skits and
Tushy enhancer.
prosthetic buttholes. Shows like Mr. Magoo and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It's a kid.
Actually, that's a chipmunk. Mr. Magoo cartoons always kind of bugged me. I mean, I get the whole gag that he's legally blind and technically should be put in a home, but that's just it. How does he get into all these shenanigans in the first place in his condition? Like going to vacation at a ski resort, or being a lead role in an opera. You'd think that would be a difficult task for him. It also bugged me how all the other people in Mr. Magoo's world are complete assholes. For real. Take, for example, this short where a guy gets out of having to look after a bunch of Boy Scouts by pinning the job on Magoo. Yeah, good idea, dick. Leave a bunch of kids in the hands of a legally blind bastard overnight. That will end well. Or when Magoo has a friend who calls him from the hospital telling Magoo that he needs to drive over to visit him. Yeah, some friend. I bet Magoo is the one who put him in the hospital in the first place, and this was his way of getting back at him. There's also some really weird cartoons. I mean, besides Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like this short called Forget-Me-Nuts. Okay. The cartoon is about an elephant and a mouse, or coyote, whatever this thing is, who volunteer to work for a scientist who suffers from dwarfism.
Well, gentlemen, we are now in business.
To make a short cartoon shorter, they both end up getting amnesia and forget how to get home.
Which proves the truth of that old saying, memory lane is a dead-end street.
What? Yeah, where did they dig that one up from? Or this one that has some surprisingly intricate backgrounds.
By George, I think I've got it. I can fly.
He can fly! He can fly!
I'm a bird. I'm an aircraft. I'm not going to ride that dreadful bus ever again.
The whole cartoon is basically a predecessor to those Red Bull commercials. To make the whole mindfuck even worse, this cartoon takes place in London.
Quiet, Farley. How can I hear the telly with you nattering on like that?
Oh, what's on the television then? Looks like a penguin.
I mean, really? Just a few seconds ago I was watching a guy lobotomize a Scott Farkas puppet, and now I'm watching this? It is kind of a jarring experience to go from a cartoon that was made in the 1950s to a 1990s Nickelodeon show.
Good show, Bloodsport. I think you winged him.
Hey look, it's the 1950s. Now it's the early 90s. And now I'm in 2013. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to the 90s now. In every episode, the cartoons are randomly placed, and in some episodes it's just one cartoon after another. So the skits just seem like sandwiched in excuses to use up time until the commercials start. Like this bit from the humidity episode.
You can't charge one price for puppets and another for humans.
Watch me, $13.50.
It's for Dottie. She's half puppet, half human.
Part puppet, part human? So Dottie is the product of puppet fucking? Come to think of it, she does look an awful lot like Mark. Oh my god. And then the skit's over and we immediately go to commercial. That was it. That was the whole sketch. Normally, before a commercial break, Mark gets two people from the audience to be wienerized. Wienerized. Which apparently means being squashed alive in a red TARDIS while the rest of the audience cheers. I'm not gonna lie, being wienerized used to disturb me as a kid. Just look how terrified this kid looks right now.
That way. Who's that way? And you right there. Come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my. And now it's 90s commercial time! Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I found these episodes of Weinerville with actual freaking commercials in them, which may sound like a bad thing, but no, it's freaking awesome. Like, you got those awesome toy commercials, even the ones you didn't know actually existed. And check it out, Legends of the Hidden Temple. I fucking love that show. Oh, and see if you can guess what this commercial is about.
Hey, dude, it's not your clothes you need to change, it's your pencils.
Pencils, of course. Back when social acceptance in high school depended on what your pencil looked like.
They write like other pencils, but they make you go, yikes!
Oh, I've got a pencil that makes you go yikes, alright. And I'm pretty sure it was a law back then for board game commercials to always end with a kid shouting, I win!
It's our barn!
I win! First out of them all. I win!
Let's go for it!
I win!
Connect for!
I win!
Hungry hippo!
Sink your teeth into Shark Attack.
After 50 years, Tom and Jerry are coming to theaters.
Oh god. Oh god.
Why not share the fun with your family?
Yeah, bring your family. You'll all be disappointed. I like how this preview hides all the shittiness of the movie. It makes it look like the movie is all the usual Tom and Jerry slapstick, when really, the majority of the movie is about a little girl, of whom the preview only shows once. And notice the lack of Tom and Jerry actually talking. Yeah, they knew this movie was gonna be crap, didn't they? And what really grinds my gears is how a commercial break is only like 3 or 4 commercials, and that's it. That's fucking it. And they're all commercials for kids' toys and cereal and crap. Nowadays, Nickelodeon will have like 7 fucking commercials, and most of them are for lawsuits against vaginal mesh. Ugh, who invented that word anyway? Vaginal mesh. Puts a bad taste in my mouth. Okay, enough of the commercials. It's time to get back to why we're here. At this point of the show is when the Weinerized kids, giggle giggle, play some ridiculous game. The kids usually suck at these games, but then again you would suck at pushing random objects into a toy truck too, if you had puppet arms and limited neck movement. I also like how in some of the episodes it looks like Mark just takes a wild guess at who the winner is, but in other episodes he has a scoreboard. You gotta make up your mind, man. It's probably because one of the losers complained that there is no legitimate scorekeeping, which is sad if it's true. But after the game, regardless of who wins or loses, and because it's Nickelodeon, they both get slimed.
What do you say, give the parents a special topping?
Oh god, no kids, don't give your parents a special topping. Oh god, jeez. And then we get another lame joke to top off the episode, and then that's it. That's Weinerville. Yeah, I have to admit, watching this as a kid was probably more endearing than going back and watching it again as an adult. This show is just ADD incarnate. It makes it kind of tough to do a review on. Regardless, you can't deny the satisfaction of rewatching a childhood show that reminds you of how awesome it was to grow up in that particular decade. We really gotta bring slime back. And All Real Monsters. And cargo pants. And that's our first look at TV month. Tune in next time to see what other random ass TV program from yesteryear I come up with. Oh god. Oh god. It's poison. It tastes like poison. This is what poison tastes like.
Nickelodeon Weinerville is taped in front of a live studio audience at Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios, Florida.
Oh god. Tasty poison. Oh, tasty poison.